and welcome to the Start Your Day Positive podcast, your feel-good way to start the day. I am Sara.
Good morning, I am Len. So good to have you a part of our feel-good podcast. I'm feeling good. Have you ever felt really good because you feel like you're checking items off of your to-do list or your bucket list? And that feels so good.
Yes, especially because we're almost to the end of July. I mean, I see people posting, the recap of July pictures. So moving into August, it's, you want to get those last things done for summer.
For me, not just to-do list, but bucket list items, I love art, and I love art museums. Mm-hmm. And man, on our trip to London and Paris, I was checking off some biggies.
Super fun fact about an art trip that I think you'll find very, very interesting from our little trip here, and it's a piece of art you all know. Yeah. Everybody knows this piece of art.
It certainly was a goal of mine, being an art fan, to see this particular work of art face-to-face or face-to-picture, and so I had a chance to do that. And we have something fun to share about that. Also, Squeaky Clean, not like any other house cleaner, and we're going to partner with them today. Be listening for your chance to win a $200 house cleaning from Squeaky Clean. But right now, we want to catch up, share some things with you. Your friends and family might be talking about. Appreciate all of the great work of Josh, and today, Haley updating you. Hey, guys, thank you so much.
Len and Sara, thank you. So it's been musical chairs, I guess, because Hannah and I have been sitting in for you guys during your trip. This is the last day, so thank you. But now Hannah's out on maternity leave, and so we have a new friend, Haley, also from The River, and Haley's on The River afternoon show.
Yes.
So thank you for sitting in for Hannah as we sit in for Len and Sara.
We're sitting in for the sit-ins, for the sitting,
you follow
the
all
sitter-inners.
Yes. You can find a river station near you because they're all over Ohio, by the way. Just text the word radio to 800-609-1049, and then you can start listening to the River Morning Show, Haley in the afternoon, and more. Okay, a few things you need to know as you start the day today. The first day of the Ohio State Fair is in the books. It runs through August 9th, and there are tons of attractions. Obviously, Haley, the food is a big thing. What are the main attractions for you with a fair? There's one on my mind. I don't know if you're going to pick it or not.
Yeah, so I love the food, obviously. Yeah. I'm particularly excited to try the weird deviled eggs from the Ohio Poultry Association.
Hannah has talked about those. We had an entire segment earlier on the podcast about all those new flavors.
But truly, my most favorite thing about the Ohio State Fair is the butter cow. Because it's so weird.
It is so weird.
And unique. And I learned that this year, so we always have the cow and the calf. That's always the staples of the display. This year, the special theme is, of course, a nod to America's 250th birthday.
It has to be.
Like, what else were you going to pick?
Yeah.
And so I read that the calf is wearing a Stars and Stripes hat this year, which I'm very excited to see. There is a majestic butter bald eagle.
There's a what?
A butter bald eagle. There's a butter American flag, an Ohio flag.
Come on.
The Statue of Liberty in all her butterful glory is there. Like, I cannot wait to see it.
This is the one thing I thought you might mention, and as you're listening to this, you'll want to know as well. Every year at the Ohio State Fair, they have a Christian music artist. And this year, it's For King and Country.
Of course.
Coming up next week on Monday, August 3rd. It is so, so good.
It's going to be so awesome. I kind of can't believe I forgot to mention that. I was too distracted by all the butter.
Well, I understand.
Maybe if Joel and Luke were made of butter, I would have been more excited.
Who do we know?
They're going to be amazing.
Yeah.
One thing about For King and Country, they never disappoint. They always put on a fantastic show. So super pumped for that.
Okay, The Ohio State University is performing a makeover for every sport uniform for the upcoming season.
Ooh.
That's 36 varsity teams for men and women. And here's the upgrade. It's going to be a sponsorship patch from JP Morgan Chase.
Okay.
It's going to be on all the jerseys. The NCAA is allowing that now. And yes, it's going to bring in $17 million to the sports program, but I like that it's more than just the money.
Okay.
So here's what comes for the students with this. Student athletes are going to get access to financial education, training, and resources. Isn't that what all of us wish we would have learned?
We love.
When we were teenagers. Like, someone teach me how to budget, please. And so now that's going to be part of this agreement for these college athletes. You know as well as I do, being a football player in college or being an athlete in college, that's your job.
Right.
That you don't have a whole lot of time for anything else or any additional elective classes. So you stick with your major stuff, and then this will be another way for them to not be broke when they get out of college and start living as adults.
And new outfits.
And new outfits. Yeah. The nice little patch on. And last but not least, purchasing a vehicle is one thing. Leasing is something else entirely. Some people want to purchase, some people want to lease. That way they get to renew, they get to like upgrade every few years or whatever. So Apple has decided we're not going to leave the leasing game just to cars. You can now lease the brand new Apple products.
What?
Yeah, iPhone or Apple Watch, the Mac or the iPad. It's a 2-year program. And then at the end, you can either return the device and start leasing a new one.
Okay.
Kind of like you do with a car. You can return it and exit the program, or you can essentially pay off the remaining balance and purchase what you've been paying down for like the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I got too much distrust of technology for this. And here's what the issue is. I don't trust that if I lease that phone and then someone else gets it, that now you're not going to have all my information.
Well, there are ways around that.
I know. Listen.
It's a factory reset.
The logic is overridden by the distrust.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So I'm very happy for those who think, yay, I can get this phone and lease and it's going to work for me.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you. I still own every cell phone I've ever had because I'm afraid to throw it away.
You are too young to be this jaded. Come on.
It's my inner grumpy old man.
I guess. I'm Josh from the River Morning Show. That is Haley from the River Afternoon Show. And the River is Ohio's home for Jesus music. And we have had a blast spending time with you on Len and Sarah's podcast all week. Thank you for listening. And come on over to the River and listen at a station near you. Text radio to 800-609-1049 to find the River Station in your town. Len and Sarah, take it away, guys.
Len and Sarah, start your day positive.
Hey, here on our Start Your Day Positive podcast, we like to keep it positive, but at the same time, we like to keep it real when it comes to issues that affect you. I just read this article. It says, for the first time in 5 years, fewer than half of Americans can consistently afford health care. According to this latest Gallup survey, just 49% of adults are now classified as cost secure, meaning they can afford access to quality care and have been able to pay for visits and prescriptions in recent months. Now, that's not great news. The good news, if healthcare costs are really affecting your family, is there is an alternative, a faith-based Christian health share ministry. It's Liberty Health Share, and they're really making a difference for so many families. Liberty isn't health insurance. Liberty is a community of like-minded members that share in each other's healthcare costs. It's working. It's affordable. Recently, Liberty actually lowered the monthly contribution from members and returned over $2 million to members. If you have a healthcare need, you just present your Liberty information to the healthcare provider. Liberty receives that bill. They negotiate the lowest possible rate, and then members all together share in the cost. It's a pretty remarkable story.
And that's why we are so glad to be partners with Liberty Health Share. They're just fantastic. If you would like to know more, just go to their website. It's libertyhealthshare.org.
Whoa, tick tock, woo, the time goes so fast. It happened today, let's remember.
Today is July the 30th, getting to the end of the month, and we always take a minute on the podcast and go back in time and look at this date in history.
1956, the phrase "In God We Trust" legally became the national motto of the United States. The resolution passed both the House and the Senate unanimously. 2 years earlier, "Under God" was added to the pledge. A year later, in 1957, "In God We Trust" was added to U.S. currency.
It's very interesting. I don't think most people listening to our podcast have any idea that "In God We Trust" being added to all those things is so recent. 1956, 1957. Would you have guessed that?
No. I mean, I knew that because we've talked about it before, but it's kind of shocking.
It is. I was watching a cartoon. It was a patriotic cartoon one time, and they did the Pledge of Allegiance in this animation, and they didn't say "Under God," and I was shocked. I thought, what's going on here? Are they intentionally trying to take God out of the Pledge of Allegiance? And then I looked, and the cartoon was a classic. It was made in the 1940s. It wasn't a part of the pledge at the time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it really is. The reason, by the way, and it's wonderful, but the reason they added in the 1950s is we were in what was called the Cold War with Soviet Union. And because it's a communist nation and they don't really have religion or freedom of religion there, certainly didn't at that time, at least, we wanted to distinguish ourselves. And so anywhere we could put in our documents, coins, or anything, in God we trust, we wanted to do that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Who's got a birthday today? Arnold Schwarzenegger turns 79 today. Arnold is 79.
I'll be back.
I got to meet him once.
You met Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I went to the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. Goodness, it probably would have been 10, 15 years ago now. And I was at some dinner. I was working at Fox Sports at the time, and I sat with him at dinner.
You sat with Arnold Schwarzenegger at dinner?
I
That's
did.
incredible.
I had dinner at his table. Isn't that wild?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, was he already really, really big at that time? I don't mean muscular. I mean, had he made some of his big movies and stuff? Sure he had.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, yeah. This was only like 10, 15 years ago.
Right, and he was still doing his Arnold Classic, even though he was a big movie star now. Right.
Yeah, he was kind of in politics at that time.
Oh, he was governor, wasn't he? California.
He might have been.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. But yeah.
Yeah. It
was kind of cool.
That's very cool. I've got some motivation. How big is he? How tall is he?
He's very tall. Oh. I mean, I have a picture with him. I'd have to go back and look. But you're so tall too. But
yeah.
I think he's tall, but I'm kind of short too. So
I've got some motivational Arnold quotes. Take these with you today, and you too can be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Number 1, he said, "You can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets."
That's true.
Number 2, for me, the meaning of life is not simply to exist, but to move ahead, to go up, to achieve, and to conquer. And then Arnold simply said, and we all can relate to this, he said, "Don't be afraid to fail."
Those are all good.
Yeah, sure are.
And it's National Share a Hug Day. Encourage giving hugs to friends and loved ones. Even if you can't get to them, sometimes I just say, hey, sharing a hug with you in a text or air hugs over FaceTime. We always do air hugs.
Okay.
Have you ever done air hugs?
Is there a hug emoji? You would think. You would think for sure there would be, wouldn't you? I mean, you've got the heart. You've got the smiley face with the heart eyeballs.
Let's find out.
Yeah, you would think there would have to be. Air hugs are good.
Hug. No, there's no hug emoji.
How's that possible?
When I type hug, the little face with hearts comes up.
Right. Boy, I know it's complicated for
would
the
you
phone.
Would it be an emoji just like hugging yourself?
Yeah.
Because how would you do that?
I'll leave that up to the emoji people, but that's a real miss, I think.
I agree.
Get a hug emoji out there. I'm glad, honestly, when I was young, just giving a hug wasn't as common or in vogue. Handshake, people were a little more formal.
Yeah.
So.
No, I can feel that.
Yeah.
So. It was almost like, why are you giving me a hug?
Right.
Like, this is improper.
Right. So go ahead, share some hugs today.
Just makes me laugh. Gets my day going.
There's nothing else like it. Northeast Ohio's biggest summer celebration of faith and family at an exciting new home. Saturday, August the 15th. The Fest at Forefront Field in Avon. The Fest returns with a full day of faith, family, and fun. Incredible music, inflatables, entertainment, delicious food, vendor exhibits, inflatables, entertainment, and a beautiful outdoor mass at 8, followed by a spectacular fireworks show. Headlining at the Fest, one of Christian music's most exciting groups. You'll love them. Pain.
I'm so blessed.
Matt Marr. And Riley Clements.
You will never stop fighting for me.
Tickets are just $10. Parking is free. Don't miss Northeast Ohio's biggest summer celebration of faith, The Fest, Saturday, August the 15th at Forefront Field in Avon. This year's theme is Blessed. Join thousands and celebrate the goodness of God together. Get tickets and details at thefest.us.
Keep it positive, positive, positive with Len and Sara.
Okay, so there's a trending video right now on Instagram Reels where you're supposed to say the 5 things that you think are worth every penny. So it doesn't matter. Everybody's are different, but it's just like a fun thing to do. So like, oh, okay, I'll do this. What are the 5 things? And you're supposed to just think off like the top of your head. They could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, right away I would say just randomly a chocolate-coated waffle cone with butter pecan ice cream. It's worth $6, $7, whatever. Yeah.
There you go. So that's one for you. See, you already have one. So when I quickly thought about it, I said, okay, my Tacova cowboy boots. I love those.
Like my boots.
I love my boots. My hairstylist. I love her. She does such a great job on my hair. I'm very particular. My Wally phone case. I have a phone case that I think is the best phone case in the world. Netflix with no commercials.
Ah, good one. Good one.
We splurge on that, and I do love it. And then my last thing is a house cleaner. We love every month. I love particularly. It saves me so much time. I love Squeaky Clean. Squeaky Clean, NEO. Having someone come and clean the house is worth every penny.
Good.
To me.
I just heard someone talking about this, and they talked about how valuable the time was they gained by having someone help with the house cleaning. They were able to use the time they would have spent doing that deep dive cleaning to be more productive. In this case, they are a business owner, and so they could use that time to make more money. So it actually paid for them to have a house cleaner. I mean, it made sense.
I know you sent that to me and you're like, you're going to like this. And I was like, I do like
Made
this.
sense.
So Squeaky Clean is awesome. You know, I can't say enough great things about them. They've done such a great job. Squeaky Clean NEO. And it's cool that we get to give away a house cleaning a couple times a month.
Yeah, I think this might be the best prize that anyone gives away on a podcast or radio or any place else. To have your house cleaned, that's phenomenal, especially by Squeaky Clean. All people are waiting for is a keyword. It's set up on our website. Keyword, you'll enter at startyourdaypositive.com. Keyword? No, I've got it based on the survey, the thing that you just said. Let's make it 2 words. Okay.
Okay.
Keywords, worth it.
Worth it. Yes. I love it.
Okay. You want to add her? Use that keyword, startyourdaypositive.com. Click on the link, and who knows, maybe you'll win. And if you're saying to yourself, yeah, it would be worth it, Squeaky Clean, that's who you call. Our podcast sponsor, Kim and her team. Go to the website, Squeaky Clean, NEO, not every other house cleaner.
It's encouraging, uplifting as I drive to work.
I just started smiling on the way into work, and it totally changed my perspective of the day.
Congratulations, you win free gas.
Boy, we had so much fun last month. We gave a gas gift card away every day, but good news, it doesn't stop there.
Hi, it's Stephanie Schaefer from Fox 8. Len and Sara, your gas giveaway just got even bigger. Tell your podcast family to tune in to our morning coffee quiz around 6:45 every morning, because every day someone is driving away with $100 in free gas, thanks to the Claiborne Auto Group. We'll see you on Fox 8 and keep starting your day positive. Love you guys.
Stephanie, thank you. The Fox 8 Morning Coffee Quiz is always a lot of fun. And thanks to our Positive Day Do Good partner, Claiborne, every day somebody wins a $100 gas gift card. And speaking of Claiborne, if you're thinking Lincoln, you have to see Claiborne's brand new state-of-the-art Lincoln showroom in Kent. It's beautiful, just down the road from Claiborne Ford and Claiborne Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram in Kent. They're all closer than you think.
Thank God for another day. His love and light will lead the way. Starting off a brand new day with Len and Sara. Ooh, ooh.
Well, when we started the podcast today, we were talking about how it's great we can check things off your bucket list. And I'm a big fan of art. Cleveland Museum of Art and the Met, two big museums that I've attended, but I've never been to the National Gallery in London, and I've definitely never been to the Louvre. I've been able to do them both, or the Louvre, as you say.
The Louvre.
Yeah, thank you.
So I think it's best known because the Mona Lisa.
That's right.
Is at the Louvre, or you know,
and it is the world's largest art museum, I believe. It's the world's largest. So.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what the guide said.
Okay, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that. But we were sitting having lunch, and my daughter Reagan is with us, and she said a good question. I'm sure everybody might wonder, why is the Mona Lisa so popular?
Yes.
I mean, it's the one painting most people know what that is. Right? Or have seen it?
No, I would say that if you were to tell people to name 5 works of art that they've heard of or know, Mona Lisa absolutely would be on the list. You might say Starry, Starry Night with Van Gogh, maybe a few others, but Mona Lisa in the top 5 for sure.
So it's interesting why it's so popular. So first of all, it is painted by Leonardo da Vinci. So of course he's considered one of the greatest artists and inventors in history. And depending on where you look, they say her smile is mysterious. Depending on it, where you look, it seems to change. So I guess people have debated her expression for over 500 years. But in 1911, the painting was stolen. The theft made worldwide headlines, and when it was recovered 2 years later, it became even more famous. So the big theory and everything is that's why it became so famous, because it was in the papers.
It was in the news. It was in the news
all the time. People
Right.
talking about how it was stolen.
Famous painting taken from the world's largest art museum. It got past security. It's not that big, so that's how you could steal it. You might be surprised.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah.
very big painting.
Yeah, I think it's 30 by 21 inches.
Yeah, like most people would have that in their living room.
Right.
They would have that in their living room.
Right.
So it's not that big, and because it was stolen, everybody was talking about it. Hey, did you hear the Mona Lisa was stolen? And so that made it even more famous, of course.
So movies, books, advertisements have just made it a pop cultural icon.
Yeah, and then Leonardo da Vinci, we were talking about that. A lot of people know the Mona Lisa, but that wasn't his thing. Painting, he did some painting.
Yeah, tell me about this, because you said that he was actually more of an inventor.
Absolutely. He was a writer. He was a first and foremost inventor and just a person of great ideas. If you look through some Leonardo da Vinci writings, this guy, I think he invented the parachute.
What?
Yeah, I think he was working on a tank, an underwater submarine type of. All these things came to his mind, but he loved studying human anatomy, and so his sketches are what he's known for. You know the famous Da Vinci Circle, where there's the man standing there, and from fingertip to fingertip, with his arms outstretched from side to side, they're as long as he is tall. That's the famous Da Vinci Circle, right? So he was known more for really his sketches and his notes, and also recognized as a painter as well. But I can't tell you how exciting it was to see the Mona Lisa and some other amazing works of art.
Okay, wait a minute. So I just had to Google this because while you were talking, it made me interested. Because yes, he did invent the parachute, but he also invented the diving suit, the concept for a machine gun, and bridges.
Yeah. He just sat around and thought a lot.
He just sat around and thought a lot.
Hey, let me give a tip to people, because I love going to the art museum, and there's a side of me that doesn't understand why other people don't love it as much as me. But I realize
Len really loves going to the art museum.
Because even my family members and so forth, when we go, they have to go to the little cafe, because I would spend all day in the art museum. But here's 2 things I'd like you to keep in mind. Next time you go to the art museum, first of all, especially the big religious paintings, they do tell stories that are depicted in the Bible, and they just bring them to life. And number 2, read the little things. Just don't walk by. Just once you read the little things and you hear the story behind a painting. An example of one thing I pointed out to you in some great Catholic Renaissance art, when you look at a biblical scene, you might see Jesus and Mary and maybe Peter. And then over in the corner, there's like one of the cardinals from the Catholic Church. They just put him in, almost like AI. They put him in the painting.
I will say this. Going with Len to the art museum is a different experience than just going by yourself. Even my daughter was like, he's so observant of stuff that you necessarily wouldn't see.
Yes.
Like that kind of stuff. I think what you should do in your spare, all your spare time, you should go and do a YouTube video. Do it at the Cleveland Art Museum and like follow along. And just do all these things and like take us with you and show us what you see in these.
I do that, and then you have to admit, probably more than anybody, I crack jokes in the art museum.
That's why it's funny. That's why it'd be good.
Well, that's another destination. Remember, people, if you live in Northeast Ohio and you listen to our podcast, one of the world's renowned art museums, the Cleveland Museum of Art, getting in is FREE free. It's free.
OSITIVE. Start your day positive with Len and Sara.
Well, there is so many good things happening, and we love to highlight them. And I want to introduce you to someone really cool and special that we just met, Nobles Darby.
Yes.
He is the chaplain of the Cleveland Browns and works with so many people here in the Cleveland area. It's so cool to sit down with you.
Yeah, no, it's an honor to be here with you guys. It's a full circle moment for me, growing up as a kid in Cleveland, listening to you guys, but to be able to be here to have this conversation is really cool. So appreciate it.
Oh, as soon as I saw on social media, I don't know, it must have been a couple weeks ago now, what was happening is Cleveland for Christ,
Cleveland for Christ, yep.
And some Browns players being baptized and people coming together. And I know you were really involved with that. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so it's just amazing how God's work, his timing is perfect. So 3 years ago when I came into the Browns organization as the new chaplain, one of the goals and dreams I had was to extend ministry beyond the building. And so one of the ideas was, man, I thought it'd be cool to do like a citywide baptism service, have players share their testimonies, a night of worship. And so in March of this year, we signed a free agent named Daniel Thomas. He played with the Detroit Lions last season. DT called me one day after practice and he said, hey man, I was with the Jacksonville Jaguars and me and a few of my teammates did this event called Jags for Jesus, where we literally rented out a beach. We did baptisms, had testimonies, and I started laughing. And he said, what? And I said, DT, I've been praying about something like this for Cleveland. And he said, let's do it. And so literally in about 2.5 weeks, myself and several other guys on the team just came together, put the logistics together. And it was really a night of worship. We had about 16 players from our team come out that night just to show solidarity. I presented the gospel, and then we literally walked 5 feet over to the pool and did baptisms right on the spot. And it was so cool because the first person that got baptized was current NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, Carson Schlesinger. And so for the guys to make such a bold statement that, for them, faith is bigger, than the game of football, right? But to leverage that platform and influence to point people to Christ, it was amazing.
It's so good. We saw pictures, we saw video,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. I mean, you just get goosebumps, right? When you see that, you
100%.
see the guys
Yeah.
getting baptized. What's that whole thing like, that thread of faith on an NFL team? You're the chaplain. There are a lot of ups and downs. There's competition. There's injuries. There's people in all different places. And yet I know there's a lot of guys on the team, too, that have faith. So what's the whole vibe? What's the whole dynamic?
Yeah, absolutely. So I myself play football as well, and it's such a team game. And when I think about Hebrews 10:25, that talks about, let's not forsake the assembling of ourselves because the day of Christ's return is coming near. A football locker room is just so tight knit. There's a lot of community in there. In the Browns locker room specifically, there are a ton of guys that are believers. And one of the things that I challenge these guys about is that when Christ comes back, you're not going to stand before him. He's going to ask, how many career statistics did you have?
Right.
He's not going to care how many touchdowns you made, how many sacks you forced, or how many fumbles you recovered. He's going to want to know, how did you leverage your platform and influence to point people towards me? And so these guys understand, I got to tip my hat to them, and it's a blessing to be able to walk alongside them in this journey. They understand that Christ is the foundation, right? At the end of the day, the Apostle Paul says, I think it's in 1 Corinthians 13:11, there's no other foundation that can be laid than that which is Jesus.
Oh, I love that. Now tell me, because a lot of people might hear Cleveland Browns chaplain, and it's like, wow, some people might even know
Yeah.
that there was a chaplain for the
Right.
Cleveland Browns. So what does that mean, and what is your role?
Yeah. So, it's funny because I get this question often. People don't realize all professional sports teams have a chaplain. You're really the hands and feet of Jesus to professional teams and organizations. And so, I'm doing Bible studies with players and coaches. I'm doing Bible studies for staff in the building. I'm dedicating babies of, staff people. I've actually married, my third player couple this past off season. And so you are literally a pastor, when you're serving these individuals, you're walking with them through challenging seasons of life, being that sounding board, being that spiritual mentor, that spiritual advisor.
Yeah, see, that's what is interesting. A lot of people look at the guys on the teams as football players,
Right.
And so they talk about them like, oh, get that guy out of there, or whatever the case might be. But they're not football players or people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so with that in mind, what have you learned through your job? Maybe about yourself, but also about them, because they're guys, right? We're all walking together.
100%. I think one of the most interesting stories I can share, I remember my first year with the team. There was a guy, a player on our team that came to me one day after practice, and he just said, hey, man, I want to get in my word. And so we went to lunch that afternoon in the practice facility. And shortly after that, he just kind of ghosted me. Like, he didn't return my texts. He wasn't returning calls. When I saw him in the building, it was just kind of a hi and bye. And so I thought, man, this is kind of interesting. And so I never changed up, how I interacted with him. And that following season, he came to a Bible study. He called me afterwards and he said, hey, man, you don't know this, but I've been watching you for a year. And he said, I know I kind of ghosted you at first, but I had to make sure you were legit. And every time I saw a coach or a player talk to you about the word, you never gave them opinion. You always pointed them scripture. And I want to know if you'd be willing to disciple me. And so God's just been good and faithful in that regard. But that trust piece is so important because so many people want from them, but there's not a lot of people that are trying to give to them.
Yeah.
So.
I could just listen to you all day. I ask you a million questions.
Yeah,
He's got better stories than me. Really good stories.
And I'm just pretending to put things away.
All right. Well, you just had the chance to speak at the Alive Music Festival. A lot of people were there, but a lot of people didn't get to go. So for those that didn't get a chance to be there, what's the message that's on your heart right now?
So Matthew 7:24-27, Jesus talks about these two foundations, right? Or these two houses, one that's built on solid rock, the other that's built on sand. But really these houses represent two different types of people. And he says, if you hear my words and obey them, even when the storm comes, you'll still be standing. If not, you'll be washed away. And so really what I want to lean into that night at the Live Fest is that if we are building our lives on everything except Jesus, when the storms of life do come, we are ensured that we are going to wash away. But if we are standing on the solid foundation of Christ, as I once heard it said, either you're in a storm, you're coming out of a storm, or headed into a storm. But if Jesus is that sure foundation, you'll be standing strong at the end of any of them.
Amen.
That's a little snippet.
I'm there. I'm already ready. I'm like,
let's go. It's good.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you for all you do for the kingdom. And
yes,
it's just beautiful to see these stories, to hear these stories. And I love it.
Yeah, no, thank you all. Again, I'm super grateful for you all and what you all have meant, just to the body of Christ over the years. To be able to sit down and do this conversation is it's really a blessing. And so I'm super excited to see where things go from here. And, let's keep advancing God's kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah. Amen.
What I like about Len and Sara is they're friendly, and it seems like they're always having fun.
I want to give you a perspective on something. Think about how nervous you are when you go to high school. When you go to high school, you're you're a freshman, and then you get a little more confidence as you go through the school year. By the time you're a senior, big time. So a lot of time passes between being a freshman and a senior in high school. So 4 years, it's kind of a long time. Now, Sara, how does that illustration connect with our podcast sponsor, Universal Windows Direct?
I don't know. You're going to have to tell me. I'm like trying to think, wait a minute, a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
Connect the dots.
How many years are you in high school?
Oh, I should have known this. 4 years. That means the amount of time you're in high school That's how long you have to pay off your new windows at Universal Windows Direct.
At 0% interest. Does that give you some perspective? You could buy your windows as a freshman and you have until you're a senior and graduating to pay them off.
Only you would have that correlation. I love it, though. But yes, you have that long to pay off your windows, and buy 4 windows, get 4 free. So that's an incredible, credible offer. And at Universal Windows Direct, they have their exclusive super spacer technology. They'll come out and do a free in-home estimate. Tell them Len and Sara sent you. You will be saying, I love my windows, universalwindowsdirect.com.
Well, I hope you're all up to have the best day. Just a reminder, we have the free Squeaky Clean house cleaning giveaway. Just use the keyword we gave in the episode. Go to startyourdaypositive.com. You could be our winner this week.
All right. Well, let's wrap up today's podcast with a blessing, just asking the Lord to be with everybody who's listening to our podcast today. Whatever you find yourself doing, just be confident that God is walking with you. And we experienced it many times on our trips here with our listeners that many times a surprising meeting or incident wasn't an accident. It was something that God had specifically designed for you. And it's up to us to recognize that. And so that's the blessing today. Maybe that'll happen to you. In Jesus' name, amen.